Hey guys, hey, thanks for tuning in. Jackie and I decided to have a little conversation here and let you in on it. A lot of people have asked us what it's been like over the last couple of years during this pandemic. And we decided to just make a video, whether 2 people watch it or 10 people watch it or nobody watches it. At least we'll have it for history's sake to look back on these days, and remember the crazy times that this last couple of years has really been.
I agree. I think that it's been an interesting path to where we are today. 2 years ago, we were getting ready to send children home, and we were just talking about that this morning. And so now we're here 2 years later, and wow, what a trip it has been. Ups and downs, and sometimes just coming home shaking our heads like what we just have experienced and have been asked, and we don't have answers to, and everybody depended on us to have answers at every moment, and we just didn't. So it's been interesting.
Well, we did our best, and we asked experts. We have people in either of our buildings that could help. And in my building, it was a collaborative effort getting through and navigating these times. And to your point, it was March 13th, 2020, when we sent kids home with their books and told them that to log line on Monday. And thank God, you and I both put our staff together, each of our staffs, and did Google Classroom training just that fall. So we had a pretty good idea, at least a rudimentary idea of how to use Google Classroom. And boy, it sure expanded from there. We were intending to use it for remote learning days, like days when we have professional development and things like that, that odd day here and there on our calendar where kids would learn from home. And little did we ever know back in the fall of 2019, that would be our main way of teaching for the whole spring semester of 2020.
Right, and it was hit and miss. We were learning it. We didn't know if we were doing things right. Some people learned some things and then tricks, and then they shared with others.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharing.
It was a lot of sharing and collaboration, and we made it work. Google Meets was one of the biggest highlights because the teachers were able to, all of us were able to meet with the children and still see them, even though we were in houses or in homes. And it was really, really good.
Yeah, there were definitely silver linings. We learned a lot. And as educators, around the world, we all learn things that make us better teachers, better principals, better educators in general. Today is a historic day for me. Tomorrow is 2/22/22. It's a historic day for us because tomorrow we're going mask optional. My school was one of those uber conservative, super careful schools, and we still are to this day, and even going in tomorrow. But according to the Indiana Health Department and the experts that they rely on, the wisdom is that due to many factors, students may go without masks to school and be safe enough to do so. And so as I gave the news to my community last Friday, some of them were jumping for joy, others were a little bit nervous, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. But I'll tell you what, I'm sure you've felt the same way. Seeing kids smile under a mask is nice, and you see their eyes light up, but it's simply not the same. And I really look forward to seeing lots of smiling faces tomorrow walking into my building. And your school isn't at that point yet, is it?
No, we're not there yet. So we're hoping that maybe soon, but we're not there yet. So it's just something that we have to wait for and see when we can go to that mask optional.
And the responsibility isn't all on your shoulders to make that decision.
No.
That's a district decision.
That's a district decision. So I do not have that for my building. So it will be made at district level. And I'm hoping, though, that it's soon, because just like you said, it'd be nice to put that entire expression of a child's face and be able to see it. Behind a mask is nice, but it wasn't the full effect. So we really missed that.
Well, this video is for whatever it's worth. At least Jackie and I can look back at it 10 years from now and remember the craziness that was the pandemic. Not that it's completely over. My school, although we're going mask optional tomorrow, we still have lots of precautions in place, and we're slowly and methodically going to ease those up. And make decision after decision, just like we did at the beginning of this whole thing, literally making thousands of decisions based on the best information, the best wisdom of our health experts, and all those around us. And I couldn't talk about the pandemic and even mention it at all without mentioning our school nurse. She has been just an absolute angel throughout this whole thing. And a true example of someone who gave and gave and gave and gave and will continue to give for the good of the cause. And a lot of the decisions that we made along the way were second guessed. I'm happy to take the heat for that, but sometimes she felt it as well, just internally, when people weren't pleased. But what we noticed and what we learned throughout this whole experience was that you're not going to please everybody.
No.
Ever. There's going to be people on either end of an argument that are willing to criticize and second guess. Thankfully, at your building and at my building, the majority of people put their trust in us to do what we thought was right.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you 100%. Our school nurse too. She took it and she did the best she can. She's always doing the best she can. Even our district, personnel too, with their information that they received, and they're doing the best they can. But you're right. A lot of times they had to stand up and say, this is what we need to do. And we did. We took a lot of heat for that. We had upset parents a lot. And those were the things we just had to do. But we were there to support them because we knew that they were the first point of contact with all of these questions about COVID and these variants. And we're science majors, but we're not, experts in that field.
In immunology.
So we just couldn't answer all those questions. And so thank God to them that they were there to help us along the way.
Yeah.
But you're right. This has been an interesting experience.
And it seemed like every time we got things figured out as a school, something would change. A new variant would come, a new guidance from the CDC or the state or even the local here in Lake County. Yeah. And it's been a real trip.
It sure has. When you thought you figured it out, forget it. You weren't figured it out, and it's like, okay, well, just that plan goes up in the air. Yeah, let's try again.
The target constantly moved. But listen, we're happy to be on this end of it. God willing, things won't flare up again. Thank God. Kids aren't getting seriously ill from the virus. And so I think, Jackie, any final thoughts? I think I've said all I cared to say about the whole matter. But again, we'll look back at this someday and reminisce.
I think just the final thought is every day you make a difference, right? Every day counts. Every day is a new day. So we get up and we do it all over again. That's all we can do.
Hey, that's the life of an educator. So.
That's right.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. And if you want to see more, we decided that we'd like to make a lot of some videos to inform the community of what it is like to be an educator in 2022 and beyond. And so feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more. We're going to bring more topics to the channel. We're going to do our best to get on some kind of regular schedule and ultimately, hopefully, help families navigate their kids' education. This is not easy. And we're both parents ourselves. And whether it's getting our oldest ready for college next fall, our youngest moving into high school, or all the experience that we have in those years prior to that, we're happy to share our wisdom and our experience and our mistakes that we made along the way. Believe me, we made plenty of them.
Yeah, we have.
And, that's what it's like to be a parent. So from a couple of parents, from a couple of educators, thanks for watching, everybody.